This is a video reply to Allie from Allie's Zen Zone, Relaxing with Allie, and Chilling with Allie. Alright, first off, I just want to point out it's 12 in the afternoon and I'm just waking up. I actually took the time to watch through every video you ended up making last night and this morning. It's January 16th, 2026, 12:41. Alright, so there's a few things that I want to say. First off, that smile, you wear it good. Alright? I just had to go ahead and point that out because I noticed you actually ended up pretty much throughout that whole video, you were just letting it flow. Like you were just letting it go, you know? I like seeing that. And also, I want to say something else, alright? I love the dynamic that you have with Zilla, alright? Like, the funny thing is, it's kind of like this unspoken, like, power struggle, but in the most unique, honest of ways. Like, alright, pretty much the way that I see it, because obviously, when somebody actually pays attention, like, really pays attention, they'll pick up on things that most people won't. Like, alright, I'm gonna point something out to you, because I know I hadn't pointed it out to you before. I noticed it, but I didn't point it out, alright? There was one video that you made not too long ago where you were holding the card, the death card, but it was the death card that was designed to look like the Wraith Shangri-La album cover, which I know I keep referring to it as the devil, but ultimately my tattoo is actually the Wraith. Alright, not the devil, the Wraith. Which is symbolic of the Grim Reaper. Alright? Reason that I have it is memorial for the people that didn't get to make it to this point of the journey. You know? There's been a lot of deaths from the point where I was a kid to now. And most of the people that I'm surrounded by are geriatrics, you know? So, unfortunately, I've had to witness death quite a few times, and I've had to outlast death a few times. Got a lot of respect for death, you know? But it's not in a death, destruction type way. It's one of those recognize it being a necessity, you know? Not a necessary evil, but necessary, you know? Everybody has their time. But when you ended up taking that card and you in that one video's the main point that you end up seeing picture, for the video, I gotta tell you, that is what actually ended up one of the things that really ended up drawing my attention towards you, because I was like, damn, this right here, this is the queen of the sneak diss. I'm intrigued. Alright? Because, I mean, alright. Everyone in some form or another is capable of manipulation, you know? And I understand that I'm capable of manipulation also, but I had to learn from a young age how dangerous manipulation can be if used unchecked, and used in a malicious way. Like, I understand you're capable of doing some damage if you want to, but the funny thing is, for me, I prefer to try to use manipulation in a positive way, I'd rather help somebody go ahead and see parts of them that they might have ended up being nose blind to. You know? That ultimately, if they were to lean on those strong suits, would end up going ahead and just bringing out their highest potential, if that makes sense. So when I see that power struggle with you and Zilla, it's hilarious because you're just like, yeah, that's my dog right there. And Zilla's got you back on the same level. The hilarious thing is, Zilla's kind of got that attitude of like, hey, I'm capable of annoying the shit out of you. But you love me. But you love me. That dog's got you wrapped around her paw. You know it. I know it. She knows it. And the hilarious thing is, one of the things that my brain ends up going ahead and doing is being able to kind of pick up power dynamics, even the slightest shift of them. So the hilarious thing is, I honestly could picture a situation, because keep in mind, usually it's the owner having to go ahead and call off the dog, alright? And the dog ready to go in attack mode. I just pictured a situation of you being like, hold me back! Like, ready to go in, And Zilla being the one being like, you're supposed to be saying that to me! I just gotta say, in my mind, you're Zilla's attack human. Excuse me. But for real though, I gotta say, you're doing the Lord's work. You're doing the Lord's work. Cause there have been a few times not recently that you've actually helped walk me off the ledge. You haven't even realized it. Cause I've been right at that teetering point. Now when I'm at that teetering point, honestly, I've been watching back your videos and just like, all right, you know what? Like, I know there's intelligent life out there now. That changes everything. And I'm not saying that, in my mind that I think like everyone's inferior. No. What I'm saying is, you got yourself fully in check, fully in control. Like, there's nobody capable of being able to manipulate you like you. So you use that manipulative capability to get yourself just fully evened out, fully killed out, I got a lot of respect for that. Like, I do. Like, the amount of self-restraint that I end up having to go ahead and use, you'd be surprised. Because the funny thing is, I know when I'm manipulating them negative, how bad it could be. Like, I have broken the spirits of drill sergeants. Don't get me wrong, super tough nut to crack. Super fun nut to crack, but super tough nut to crack. Like, you've got that manipulation level that it could be a full-blown existential threat. But you're like, nah, I'm gonna sit back and enjoy the show. Like, I see a lot going on here. There's some that, hell, I could even go ahead and use to my advantage if I want to. And you know what? Let's be real. In life, everybody in some form or another desires for a one-up, Something tells me that at some point that may have been a plan, and then you're like, nah, This shit's too amusing not to go ahead and let it play out organically. You know, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna get with the shits. I completely fucks with it. Like, I think you've come to the same conclusion that I am. That, like, hell, if it was ever a clash of power dynamics, that shit would get dangerous and that shit would be fucked. Me and you targeting it together in a positive way that could still be mutually beneficial, that would be a force to be reckoned with. Like, legitimately. Like, I said straight up, if me and you were ever allowed to go ahead and just, just let it fly in any which direction, we'd probably end up going ahead and getting identified as a brand new war crime. But for real, though, I could actually tell, though, that doesn't make you a bad person at all. If anything, you're capable. Don't get me wrong. You are capable of great levels of fuck shit. Like, mind-boggling levels of fuck shit. But you're also capable of immense levels of good. But I also know you could tell who to target it at and where and when, And it's not just going to be for just no reason. Don't get me wrong, sometimes the reason could be just that it benefits you in some form or another. But if you're going to use it, you're going to have a cost to use it. If you can't justify it to yourself, then it ain't worth fucking doing. I gotta say, that is a level of raw honesty that it seems like so much of the world is afraid of. But the compensity to be able to go ahead and utilize just an insane level of manipulation that could actually be utilized for the greater good. I know with no cause, it ain't worth your time. You know what I mean? I hope you know I appreciate how much you've been helping me kind of just pulling the reins with myself. Because I'm not gonna lie. There have been points recently where, when it comes down to my personal self restraint and everything, I've been just having it. And he's like, yo, just chill it out, cool out. Like, for real. Like, you're dealing with people that are just fighting you because there are aspects of themselves that they're going ahead and having to recognize now that you're just shining a light on. All right? So they're looking for a bad guy because if they don't find a bad guy, then that means they have to look internally and end up realizing the bad guy within themselves. And I'm just like, you're right. You're right. Like, the conversations and the nuances behind the conversations and the nuances and the levels behind it. And I'm just like, holy hell, we're able to have like full blown conversations and just these nuances that I don't think that people really are trained to be able to read between the lines and actually be able to appreciate, you know? Like, I just gotta say, on your own, you are a force to be able to be reckoned with, you know? Like, I'm just glad that you're able to go ahead and discern what's a proper use of your skills, because that is a skill. Don't get me wrong. All right? And it's a skill that often ends up going ahead and gets demonized. But realistically, it's a skill that could also be utilized in a positive way. You know? Like, what's wrong with helping somebody to be able to manipulate themselves and realize, like, do you not even recognize the greatness that you'd be capable of? Like, do you not recognize? Like, if nobody's taking an applause for you, you need to take a motherfucking applause for yourself. Like, you have proven to basically just be one internal ecosystem psychologically that ultimately would just be able to just uh, think of it like a sonic wave, you know? Like a sound wave that would end up going ahead and just pushing a level of pressure that's able to get picked up on, and you may never see it coming. But that's because people would automatically be looking to see it coming rather than trying to sense it coming, you know? But I gotta say, if there was ever a climactic conclusion with anything that I want to see, all right, it's that power struggle that causes a back and forth balance between you and Zilla. Like that right there, that's one of those. All right, don't need to pay for cable anymore. Like, let's go ahead and see the way that they go at this. And we're just talking day to day life. Like, I think you understand that ecosystem that you got going on there. That personal bubble in real life. You know, like that. That seems like a legitimate safe space to be able to be yourself. You know, and I gotta say, you being yourself, you, all right, you are the embodiment of there's levels to this shit. That's the only way that I know how to be able to put it. Like, there's levels to this shit. You, oh, all I'm gonna say is, I'm glad that on all sides. Damn it. No, but for real, I can't even explain to you how appreciative that I am on how you've been assisting me help walk myself off the ledge, you know? Because, I mean, mm, don't get me wrong, I'm one for education. I've loved being able to go ahead and expand my horizons, but when it comes down to those tests, that tests my motherfucking patience. That's one that people want to keep trying to make me retake over and over again. Oh, you know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And I gotta say, I'm cool with it.